So I was given some thought on what I wanted to make my first video about, and it came to me during class one day. I'm sitting there, just enjoying my nice new dry science class, animal physiology, when the instructor goes up and she's talking to us about her interests and telling us what the expectations for the class are going to be and what to expect. And she comes out and says that she's pro-LGBT plus. And I'm thinking, okay, cool, awesome, that's great. And she goes on to say that she is wanting to make this classroom like a home. We're all a family, and she wants everybody to be comfortable. And I think, oh, fuck. So the social justice warriors slash special snowflake squad has invaded my nice, lovely, dry science class. And it's only gotten worse since then. See, we were forced to do a survey, and I say forced because we were required to do it for a grade. It wasn't optional, and it was not anonymous. We had to put down our names and everything, school ID, whole 9 yards. Had a lot of questions in it, everything from where we live to what our LGBT plus affiliations are or lack thereof, what our religions are or elect not to answer, a number of other questions involving some of our personal beliefs, goals, aspirations, which some of it I could understand and some of it was completely out of place for what is essentially supposed to be a science class with no sociology connection whatsoever that I would be aware of. In addition to that, they were giving us almost weekly surveys that were kind of vague. What are your thoughts? What are your feelings on the class so far? How do you feel today? Kind of questions. The icing on the cake is they were giving us questions like in the form of a test in the middle of class. They would take a tally of who got the question right and then have us talk to each other and then ask us to do the test again and see what the change was. But they wouldn't tell us what we got on it for the first time to know how well we actually did. They would just tell us what the final result was. So they wanted to see how us talking to each other would affect our grades, but weren't telling us how we did when we did it on our own without other people's influence on us. It's pretty clear that it was a social study on us. So at that point I went ahead and asked one of the TAs, hey, are we getting studied? And at that he got this kind of a deer in the headlights look, and he actually said, I plead the fifth, but if you don't want to be studied, if you were studied, then you could not be part of the group, or even just choose not to answer any surveys or anything. Of course, that is going to affect my grade. He didn't say that it was going to affect my grade, but it would have. It may be fair to point out too that this is the first class I've ever been in that we're expected to have a name tape on at all times, even after the first day. We literally have to keep them and carry them in every portion of the class, everywhere. So it's expected they're going to know who we are sitting with, where we're sitting, when we're sitting there, and we fill out papers saying that we were there with those specific people every time we interact with them. And that all this is turned in at the end of class. Everything we do down to the people that we sit with is tracked or regulated. That's not the first time that this college has actually done some kind of a study on me directly. I took a math class, an upper level math class through them recently in the last year, and I was given the type of math in a reversed form than what classic colleges would have done, and I failed the class. And I found out that was the first semester they had taught it that way, and they were studying to see how students would respond to the reversed study. So it's equivalent if you went up to a kid and tried to teach them division before multiplication, before subtraction, before addition. And that's how you built the foundation. You walk up to a kid, no experience in math, and said, hey, yeah, this is division. We're going to start you here and then work you down from there. That's what they did to me in a high-level math class, to see whether or not their students would do better. Well, they did horribly, so they're planning on switching it back. And this is where it kind of becomes a little bit hearsay, because I heard that from one of the coordinators and from my instructor, but I didn't actually see the plan from the college that was happening. So it's coming from what they told me as to why I may have failed the class and why I should just, take it again. It's only money, right? So I kind of ask the question here. Is it ethical for an institution like a college to study its students either without their knowledge or without their consent? Do we have a right not to be a data point if we so choose? Because when I pay money, like a lot of money for a high-level college class, I expect a product out of that from my investment. And when they're using me for their own research purposes, it interferes with my ability to learn the shit that I'm there to learn. I want to actually learn something. So I ask you, is that ethical? Should I say something? Should I keep my mouth shut? Because saying something could affect my grade, and not playing party to it does affect my grade. Anyway, thank you everybody, and have a good day.